Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to Life on the Wrist. It's GPHG season officially. The nominated timepieces have been released for GPHG 2022. It's super exciting that this is actually going to be happening. It's certainly nice to see some of the great accomplishments that many of the brands have been able to have over the last year, and the watches that have really stood out to them, or to the watch industry and the jury. And it's going to be pretty exciting to see some of these watches go head to head and see what the jury ends up voting for. I'm not going to go through all of the pieces that were nominated, but what I want to do is go through each category and kind of talk about some of the things that I think stand out. I think it'll be an interesting sort of conversation. In the show notes, I'm going to put a link to the nominated timepieces, so please go ahead and click that link as you watch or listen to this podcast, because you really have to see some of these pieces in order to enjoy them, especially when it gets into the complications and some of the interesting calendar and astronomy watches. Like, it's definitely worth seeing them in at least over the phone. With that said, I do think that there are opportunities for you to see these watches in the flesh, and so I wanted to go over some of the exhibitions that are going to be taking place this year, some of which have already taken place, but there still are opportunities for you to see these watches and join the exhibitions that they're going to have. So in the show notes, I'll also put a link to the 2022 calendar, which has the venues. The award ceremony is going to be held in Geneva in the Théâtre de Léman on November 10th, 2022. But leading up to that and after that, there are going to be exhibitions. So the first one that took place was in New Delhi in India. There was a reception at the Swiss Embassy, and then the exhibit took place on October 8th and 9th. And there were also some talks and panels related to these watches. They also had an exhibit in Morocco, in Casablanca. Their opening cocktails by invitation was October 20th. It was at the Villa Roosevelt, and the exhibit was the 21st to 23rd, and there were also talks and panels on the 21st and 22nd. Of course, they were going to make a stop in Geneva in Switzerland at the Rat Museum. The opening cocktail by invitation is November 1st. The exhibit will take place from November 2nd to the 20th, and they will also have an introduction to watchmaking workshops and guided tours if you register during that time period. For those of you who are located in America, there is an exhibit in New York at Watches of Switzerland on Green Street. There's an opening cocktail on December 1st, which is after the awards, and the exhibit will take place between December 1st and 4th. So if you are located near or in any of those areas, I highly encourage you, or I guess I should say, if you're located near Geneva or New York, you should probably check those out, because it's well worth seeing these pieces in person and kind of being involved in some of the events that are taking place. I also quickly wanted to just run through some of the names of the people who are in the jury this year. Nick Fulques is the president, but the members include Jeffrey Oder, and I apologize if I butcher these names. Jeffrey Oder is a watch expert from France. Deremi Ajidahun, who is the CEO of Hall 19 Group and publisher of GMT Africa from Nigeria. Amar Olotiashan, CEO of Rouge. John Artech, director of Rabat Madrid. Jean-Christopher Babin, CEO of Bulgari. I'm thinking of Ludovico Einaudi, the pianist. Ludovic Ballard, independent watchmaker and designer from Switzerland. Jeffrey Bamford, founder and CEO of Bamford Watch Department. Atish Banerjee, technology executive of Meta. Felix Baumgartner, founder of Uhrwerk. Laurent Besset, horological constructor of Mercia Solutions. Jean-Claude Biver, watch collector and icon of the watch world. Adam Clayton, a musician from Ireland. Brian Duffy, CEO of the Watches of Switzerland from the UK. Daniela Dufour, watchmaker from Switzerland. Dennis Flagolet, creator, watch conceptor, and co-founder of Debutune. Aldous Hodge, actor and watch designer. Lauren Janine Schlemmer, freelance journalist. Xavier Jourdain, CEO of Estima. Wei Ko, founder of Revolution in the Rake magazine. Marine Lemonia, founder of 289 Consulting, communications expert. Frédéric Luzeau, business and technology development manager of CSEM. Giorgia Mondani, digital entrepreneur in the world of luxury watches and an author from Italy. Oliver Mori, watchmaker, founder of Skill in Switzerland. Diana Picasa, art historian. Laurent Picciotto, founder and owner of Chrono Passion. Ahmed Rahman, watch collector and entrepreneur from the United Kingdom. Hind Siddiqui, director general of Dubai Watch Week. Robin wow, that is a tough last name. Robin Schwithenbank, journalist from the United Kingdom, and Michael Tay, group manager, director of the Hourglass Limited from Singapore. It's nice to see more women in the jury. There's some familiar faces, some that I don't actually know a lot about, but I think it's something that I'm going to be looking into. There will also be a link in the show notes to the jurors. So to go through each of the pieces, or each of the categories, and sort of tell you what I think. So for the ladies category, again, pull up the link that is in the show notes so you can see the nominated pieces. For the ladies category, if I'm going with like what I think would appeal to me, it would probably be the Konstantin Chaikin, the Harley Quinn version. But I think the Parmigiani Fleurier is also really nice. The Tonde PF automatic is also a really beautiful watch for the ladies category. For ladies complications, this is a really tough one for me. I really, really love the Hermès Archeo Le Temps Voyageur. I think the dial configuration is really beautiful, and the world time complication is nicely created for this watch. But I think many people will probably look at the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak self-winding flying tourbillon ultra thin with a purple dial, and the jaws will drop when you look at that. The Anderson Genève Tempest Terrier Baguette Aquamarine is also really nice world time complication. So this one really is hard to pick for me. I'll go with the Hermès because it's really the first one that I thought of. For the men's category, this was a well distributed category. I think the Bulgaria Octafinissimo Skeleton 8A is a wonderful example of what people really like nowadays, and I wouldn't be surprised if this one won. Pink gold case, hours, minutes, seconds, power reserve indicator, but 8 days of power reserve is pretty wild for this watch. This watch has been, the Octafinissimo is really grasped a lot of collectors, and I can see that doing very well. But the Zenith Caliber 135 Observatoire is also a really beautiful watch. If I go similar to maybe the dial configuration of that Hermès from the ladies complication, the Trilobe is also a really beautiful watch as well. Men's complication, this one I found kind of interesting. This one was hard for me. I didn't actually know which one I really liked the most. Personally, my aesthetics, I wasn't a huge fan of the Parmigiani Fleuriton, the PF GMT Rattrapante, wasn't really my thing. The Code 1159 Tourbillon Openworks is probably the most familiar to me. I have spoken extensively about the fact that I think 1159 is maybe gotten a bad rap. They're trying to push innovation a little bit at the company, and creating watch movements like the Caliber 2948 manufacture hand wind tourbillon open work movement is a testament to the craftsmanship that they're able to produce. I also really love the blue aesthetics for this watch. But good showing from Armin Strom. The Beauvais 1822 is also a really beautiful example. There's obviously the Hermes version of the male version of the Hermes I spoke about with the ladies complication. I'd still probably stick with the 1159. In the iconic category, these are watches that are very, very well known. I'm going to go with an oddball here. I love the Girard-Perregaux Casquette 2.0. The Casquette is a watch that they produced prior to, in prior iterations in the late 1970s, from 76 to 78. They made 8,200 examples of this quartz watch, and they've reproduced it now. I recently picked up a Mita Digitrend, and for some reason I just really love this, so I'm probably biased by a recent purchase, but I think it's beautiful. The Breitling Navitimer B01 chronograph 43 is a beautiful example as well. The Jumbo extra thin open work from Audemars Piguet, IWC Big Pilot is great. There's a lot that you can pick up in this category. The tourbillon category is a tough one. They all look absolutely beautiful. I personally would go with the Grube Fossé tourbillon 24 Seconde architecture. Grube Fossé is a brand that I admire heavily. The watch is in titanium with and sapphire. Manual wind movement, 90 hertz, skeletonized movement with hours, minutes, seconds, power reserve indication, and tourbillon. This is a big watch, and I think it stands out amongst the crowd, but I will give an honorable mention to the H. Moser Pioneer cylindrical tourbillon skeleton. For calendar and astronomy, I'd probably go with Sarpaneva, the Nocturne. Beautiful finishing for this owl on the dial of this piece. I absolutely love it. H. Moser's Streamliner Perpetual Calendar is also here, though, which I think is quite interesting to see. And when you turn it around, you just have this incredible movement from H. Moser. But I'll go with the Sarpaneva. Mechanical exception, this one's a pretty easy one for me. The Octofinissimo Ultra 10th anniversary I think is great. We've covered that watch on our channel, so if you want to read about it, you can. I think it's true innovation from a fairly large company, but literally every single one of these other watches is of such high quality, and that's exactly why it's been nominated. Chronograph is a no-brainer for me. MB&F Legacy Machine Sequential Evo is what I would go for. I don't have to talk about how much I love MB&F and also the Sequential Evo. It's revolutionary, and if you want to read more about it, you can check out our website. Divers really it's not really my sort of niche, but I'm sure the Tudor Pelagos FXD will probably have a good showing in this, but it'll be exciting to see. I personally would probably wear the Tudor. Of these other versions, I'm not sure that they really fit my aesthetic. Divers are really not my main staple, but still a nice collection. I'm gonna skip jewelry just because it's not really my thing. I don't really have good opinions on it. I'm also gonna skip the artistic crafts because I don't think I know enough about each of those watches. For the Petit Ogi, I'd probably. So the independent watchmaker in me, who likes different ways of telling time, would probably go with the Gelfman in 16 Nixie, just because of how cool this electronic watch is. I think it's a nice way to experiment with timekeeping, and incredible quality for 6,000. I think they're also produced in limited edition, but realistically, I can see the Grand Seiko Spring Drive GMT 9R66 taking the cake. For the Challenge series, I have to go with the Mad Edition Mad 1 Red, one of the watches that was released this year from Max and MB&F. These were released in a lottery and features this massive battle axe rotor, which is incredible. There's a mechanical clock mechanical clock category, which I think is so cool. It's funny, I was watching an auction with Christie's, and there was a clock that went for at auction. It was the Getty family. They were selling some of their collection from their home, and it was cool to see one of the clocks being sold. And so I thought this was a cool category. Again, I don't know enough about these to really have an opinion, but I thought this was a really cool collection. I'm sure Lepe will do really well with their Time Fast 2 clock. I also love the Utinam, where Silverstein showed his work once again. So, pretty cool. As I mentioned, there will be links in the show notes to the nominated timepieces, the 2022 calendar, and the jury for the 2022 GPHG. As a reminder, the award ceremony will take place at Théâtre de l'Éman in Geneva on November 10th, 2022, so be sure to be ready to see all of the excitement around this during that time. Let me know which one of these watches you really loved. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Hit us up on our website or on our social medias. I'd love to talk to you about the nominated timepieces and what you think will win. If you are new to the podcast, be sure to share this with a friend who might be interested in listening to a watch podcast. If you are feeling generous and wouldn't mind rating this podcast, it really does help me out. And with that said, guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast, and until next time.